It's time for the Daily Three, everybody. 3 questions, 3 minutes. I'm on the clock. Sam Ekstrom, take it away.
Okay, results last night. Not good for the local teams. Wolves crushed at home to a bad Washington team, 132-114. They lose by 18, 2 games left in their season. The Wild smoked at Nashville, 6-2. So a couple of destructive losses last night for the Wild and Wolves. Fans are concerned about momentum late in the season. Every loss just seems more amplified. Ron, are you a believer in what bad momentum can do as you enter the playoffs?
Yeah, I am. I am a believer of momentum. You look at let's go with UNC, the most recent team that rolled the momentum as an 8th seed. Coming into the tournament, they beat Duke at home to ruin Coach K's final tribute game, in front of the crazies and with all his former players there. UNC rolled that. The Tar Heels rolled that energy. And then you look at, again, not to say an 8th seed was disrespectful. It's just, hey, look, you guys didn't play great all season. Hubert Davis, you're figuring everything out. They figured it out at the right time. They got hot. They came in. They knocked off one team after the next. People couldn't believe it. Everybody assumed it would be Baylor. Even me. UNC screwed my bracket up. Everybody thought Kentucky. St. Peter, they screwed that up for me too. When you look at momentum in that aspect, yes, it is key. But the thing is, with basketball per se, you get 7 games. So the tournament's a little bit different because it's one. So I feel like when it comes to a series, if you get that first win in the series, and that's going to be the key. If you go down 0-2, like Timberwolves, for instance, I think it's done. I think you're not coming out of that hole as a 7th seed. Same with the Wild. If you get down early, that doubt creeps into your head. If they go up early in the series and the goalkeepers are playing well, I don't see them losing. And then you ride the hot hand of your goalie. If he's making stop after stop, like you said, the offense is putting points in the net, and it's not a close game. Yeah, I think that bodes well. So the momentum can start in the playoffs. It's all about how you start it. But yeah, you don't want to come in on a losing streak into the playoffs because then that does add doubt. Now, mentally, there is a coach that can say, hey, like the Timberwolves, for instance, we clinched the 7th seed. So don't worry about how we play because I am resting you guys, or I'm just trying to figure some things out for the playoffs. So I do believe in momentum, but I think there's ways around it if you're a coach of how you want to really verbalize that to your team.
Yeah, like you said, you don't want a 5-game losing streak, but I'm okay with a one-off clunker, which might actually be a wake-up call, like the Wolves especially realizing that, oh yeah, we have to defend people. If we relax, we're going to give up 132 points to Washington. We can't play like that in the playoffs, which are just, 10 days away now. So I think that could actually be a valuable lesson for the Wolves going forward. ESPN released its fantasy rankings a few days ago. Here are where some key Vikings rank in their position on offense. And I want you to tell me if it's too high, too low, or just right. Kirk Cousins, 16th at quarterback. Dalvin Cook, 10th. Justin Jefferson, 2nd. Now, these are fantasy rankings, so it's not necessarily ranking their skill level. It's more about fantasy points, but I still want your opinion. Too high, too low, or just right?
Okay, so let's go with Justin Jefferson first. Let's just go in reverse order. So Justin Jefferson is 2nd. I think that's just right. You look at Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp is an absolute demon on the field. The things he does. I honestly might have put Justin Jefferson at 3rd because I think Jamar Chase should be 2nd. I think Joe Burrow now a year away from his injury and what we saw last year coming right off injury and how good he looked. The NFL was put on notice. This team is for real. The Bengals are for real. So Justin Jefferson should have been 2nd or 3rd. I think that was just right. Dalvin Cook, that's definitely too low. I see the Derrick Henry, but again, injury. What is he going to look like coming in this year? Austin Eckler, you never know because if it's a PPR league or what kind of league are you in? You got Christian McCaffrey. Everybody always thought Christian McCaffrey should be the first running back taken, but now with injury year after 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 year, you can't say Christian McCaffrey should be up there because you don't know. Dalvin Cook has had injuries here and there, but Dalvin Cook in a scheme where they're going to run more screen game. You look at the Rams and their screens and how open they were because that wasn't the norm for them. Where I think the Vikings screen game is going to surprise people as well and be put into complete space. Dalvin Cook is ridiculous. So Dalvin Cook's got to be in the top 5 of running backs. Kirk Cousins at 16 again. Spice Adams yesterday said he thought Kirk Cousins was the top 10 quarterback. I agree. I think he should be in the top 10. I do understand that the hesitation where people say this was a running team. And so this is not, I don't think this is a running per se, like we're going to run the ball first. It's not going to be a head coach that's going to get mad if the offensive coordinator calls because it's himself. He's going to get mad at himself. It's calling too many pass plays. Like, I think Kevin O'Connell's going to ride the hot hand. If Dalvin Cook's hot, he's going to run outside zone and he's going to grind it out because that's what he's been taught by Sean McVay. The Rams wish they had a running back like Dalvin Cook. But when you look at the passing game, same thing. If Justin Jefferson's the hot hand like a Cooper Kupp, they're going to keep going to Justin Jefferson. So I think Kirk Cousins is going to be a top 10 quarterback and he should be in fantasy. So that one to me is too low.
Yeah. My thoughts on the Dalvin ranking, it does seem low at first glance. I get a feeling, though, that this is going to be an offense that passes to set up the run, whereas Mike Zimmer's teams always run to set up the pass. And I think they're going to probably get Dalvin fewer carries, trying to keep him healthier, and that might make him even more efficient as a runner if he can stay healthy later into the season, because he's gotten banged up down the stretch the last few years for sure.